Before we get to the DOS shell, I'd like to demonstrate the copy command from the DOS prompt to make sure you understand the principles of how DOS works. Lisa, make sure you are at the C:DOS prompt. Let's copy two important files to drive A. First, type copy space C:, autoexec, period, bat, space A:, and press enter. The message "one file copied" will be displayed. Now type copy space C:, config.sys, space A:, and press enter to copy the second file. The C drive is the source drive where our files are located, and the A is the destination or drive we want to copy our files to. It is source, destination, or from to. Actually, you don't need the C:, in this command since we are on that drive to start with, but it is always a good idea to add it to make sure there are no mistakes. To check and see that our files were copied, type dir space A:, which tells DOS to look at the directory for the disk in drive A without leaving the C drive. Press enter and here are our files on the disk in drive A. Now that we have an understanding of what files are and how DOS commands work from the command line, let's learn about the shell. Lisa, type DOS shell and let's add /G, which tells the shell to go into graphics mode, and press enter. Notice the shell reading all the files and directories as it comes on screen. The DOS shell is a graphical environment, which means commands, directories, and file names are visually listed for you to choose and manipulate with the keyboard or mouse, instead of having to type out and remember DOS commands and file names. If you previously installed DOS 6.0 and worked within the shell, it may look different. If it does, press the F10 function key, then V, then F, and our screen should look somewhat the same. The screen is divided into several windows. The title bar displays that this is indeed the MS-DOS shell. The area just below is the menu bar where we can choose commands and different ways of displaying the shell. We'll come back and explore this and the other parts of the screen better after a quick tour. Directly below the menu bar, the active drive is displayed. This should be a C:/. Then there are drive icons which represent all the different drives on your machine that we discussed earlier. Icons are little graphic pictures of things like file folders or disks to help you visually see what you are choosing. The highlighted icon in this display also shows which drive is currently active, C in our case. The next area, Directory Tree, displays the different directories on the C drive, which we saw from the DOS prompt earlier. The window to the right of that displays the files of the selected directory in the tree area. This is like having the dir command we typed earlier always displayed. The bottom area shows the main program list, which allows you to go to the command prompt. You can choose the MS-DOS editor to write text files and MS-DOS QBasic for programming. Last is the Disk Utilities submenu, which allows you to do some disk utilities like the format command we did earlier. To work in any of these areas, it must first be selected to activate it. Lisa, press the Tab key and the selected area changes from the first area, Drive Icons, to the Directory Tree area. Press Shift-Tab and the selected area goes back to the Drive Icons. Press Tab twice to move to the File directory. Again, the File area displays the files of the selected directory in the tree area. Notice the title bar becomes highlighted to show this area is now selected. By pressing the Shift and Tab keys together, our selection moves back to the tree area. Lisa, move your mouse around and notice the cursor, now a pointer, moves around the screen in a corresponding manner. Now move it anywhere into the File area and click the left button once and notice that the area is now the active area. Now move your cursor to the tree area and click anywhere in that box to activate it. Here is where all your directories are displayed. The top shows our root directory for Drive C. Under that are all the directories and subdirectories that exist on the C drive.
Professor, what exactly is the difference between a directory and a subdirectory?
Actually, there isn't any. It's all in the way you look at it. This is where this window gets the name tree structure. The C: is the main or root directory. Everything else in this tree structure is a subdirectory of the root directory, and each of these directories can have subdirectories of their own. Click on our desktop publishing program, the Aldus directory, in this window. Notice I said directory instead of subdirectory. That is because when it became the current directory, it left its substatus, and any directories that are created in this directory would become a subdirectory until it's activated and becomes the directory. Confusing? Not really. Just think of it like this. You are the son or daughter of your parents. But as you have children, you become the parent. So now you are a child and a parent at the same time. It's all in the way you look at it. Lisa, did you notice when you selected the Aldus directory that the files of that directory were displayed in the Files window? And the title bar now reads Aldus. Now select the DOS directory and notice the DOS files are now displayed in that window. Now click anywhere in the Files area and press the down arrow key until the chkdsk file is highlighted. This is a DOS command to check a disk. With the Files area active and our file selected, move your cursor to File on the menu bar and click on your left mouse button once. Any commands chosen in this file menu will work on our selected check disk file. When an ellipsis, 3 dots, appears after a command, a dialog box will drop down asking for additional information. Lisa, remember how we copied the files from the command line earlier? Well, now let's see how to copy files to our disk in Drive A using the shell. Move your cursor to Copy and click on it. A dialog box appears asking us where we want to copy the selected file to. Type A: and move your mouse pointer to OK and click once. Let's see if our file did copy. Lisa, move your pointer to the symbol for A drive and click once. Notice the tree area changes to show we are looking at the A drive. And in the Files area are the files we have copied so far, including CommandCom, which we added when the disk was formatted. Lisa, select the C drive again and then select the Files area. We'll do more commands in a minute, but first I want to show you the many ways in which you select items in the shell. Lisa, move your mouse once again to the File menu. While holding the left mouse button down, move the mouse downward. Notice how the highlight moves accordingly through the menu options. When you get to Copy, release the button. The Copy window appears again. This time move your pointer to Cancel and click once. Notice the bottom of the screen has the message F10 for Actions and Shift F9 for Command Prompt. Shift F9 will take you back to the familiar DOS prompt. If you go there, typing Exit will return you to the shell. Lisa, press F10 and notice the main menu now has highlighted or underscored letters in it. This is to show you what letters to press on your keyboard to select options. Press F for File, and our File menu appears. Beside some choices are speed key commands that also select that option, and again the highlighted letters for keyboard users. Lisa, use your down arrow to highlight Copy or press C, the highlighted letter for Copy, and our Copy area appears again. Press Tab until the cursor moves to cancel, and press Enter or hit the Escape key. The same principles work for all areas in the DOS shell. As you can see, you can use both the mouse and the keyboard together. There are usually several ways of doing things, so you have the choice of which one suits you the best. If there is a plus in any directory, that means that it contains subdirectories. Lisa, click on a directory with a plus inside, and its subdirectories appear. To close the branch, simply click in the directory box again. Now press the letter D, and the cursor jumps to the first entry starting with the letter D, D-base in our case. Lisa, press the D key again, and the DOS directory is highlighted. Press the Tab key, and the Files area is highlighted. Now press the down arrow to move downward through the file names. Press Page Down to see a new screen full of files. Now type U, and the cursor moves to the first file starting with the letter U. There is one more file search tool mouse users have here, the scroll bars on the right of some areas. Clicking on the arrows at the top or bottom will scroll through the file list. Or you can click anywhere in the scroll box and that portion of the files will be displayed. Lisa, press Control and the / keys, and all the files in this directory are highlighted or selected. Now select the File menu again. Normally you would want to move, copy, or delete our selected group of files. In this case, we only want to show you the File menu commands to select and deselect. So select Deselect All, and our files are back to normal. Lisa, let's look at some other ways to select files. Move your cursor back into the Files directory and click on a file towards the top of the displayed list. Then move the cursor down several files. By holding the Shift key down and clicking on the last file, we select not only the first and last files, but all those in between. These files will remain selected even if we leave this directory. To deselect a sequence of files, just select another without using the Shift key. To select a sequence of files with the keyboard, use your arrow keys to select the first file. Then, while holding the Shift key, use your arrow keys to select the remaining files in the group. To select 2 or more files, not in sequence, select the first file you want, then press Shift F8. The word Add will appear in the status bar. This tells us we can continue to add to this selection with a simple hit of the space bar. First, use the up or down arrow to move to the second file you want, then press the space bar to select it. To select groups of non-contiguous files, click on the first file, then press the Shift key while you click on the last file in the group. To select the next group of files, press and hold down the Control key while you click on the first file name in the next group. Then press and hold down the Control and Shift keys while you click on the last file name in the second group. For the most part, we will just tell you to select options for the rest of this lesson. You can decide which selection method you like best. Before we explore the menu bar, let's turn the Add feature off. First, press Shift F8, then select a single file to deselect our contiguous group of files. Now, Lisa, select the Options menu, which allows you to set up the shell to suit your preferences. By clicking on Confirmation, we are given a new dialog box asking if we want to confirm each file deletion, overwrite, or mouse action. For now, make sure we have an X on every option. Click on OK and open the Option menu again. Lisa, look at Enable Task Swapper and notice we have a little diamond before this command. This shows the command is activated. We'll cover what the Task Swapper does in our Level 2 tape. For now, highlight it and press Enter. This will unselect it. Lisa, once again open the Options menu and notice our diamond is gone. This time select File, Display Options, and another dialog box will appear. Remember our dir command? Under Sort By are some different ways of displaying files in the shell. We'll keep the listing as it is for now, so don't make any changes here. The file defaults to ascending order. Put an X here to change to descending order. Leave the hidden files hidden and make sure there is no X in this box. To look for certain types of files, you type their specifications in the name text box. For example, Lisa, type an asterisk, better known in DOS circles as a star, then a period, then EXE, and press Enter. This action finds all the execution files in the selected directory. Lisa, open the Options menu and select the File Display option again. In the name text box, type star.star and Enter to return to our normal mode.
Professor, I noticed the stars in the Files area before and now in this command. What do they mean?
Lisa, DOS uses the star symbol as a wildcard. Just as in a card game where a wildcard can represent any card you want it to, the star can represent any file name or extension in DOS. When we typed star.exe, we were telling DOS to display any file with a .exe extension. Lisa, highlight our WP51 directory. Remember, we talked about paths earlier. If you look at the title bar for our Files window, you now see the path DOS took to display these files. This includes the name of the active drive, the directory name, which is the highlighted directory in the tree area, and the star, which means display all the files and their extensions. DOS uses the backslash to separate the different directions the path is taking. Now, Lisa, click on the plus on the WP51 directory and highlight the document subdirectory. Now look at the title bar of the Files area. Reading this backwards may help. We are looking at all the files and extensions represented by the star of the document subdirectory located in the WP51 or WordPerfect directory, which is located on drive C. It is important to understand how paths work. Fortunately, when using the shell, there are only a few command options where you need to know how to enter the correct path to accomplish that option. Paths are usually already displayed for you to work with, so you don't need to know how to type them out for every little command. Now open the View menu. In this pull-down menu, we have several ways of displaying the way we can look at files in the shell. The Program File List option is grayed out because it is already selected. Viewers, when you see an option grayed out, it means the option is not available to choose at this time because it is already selected, or it is just plain not available for use at this time. Lisa, select the All Files option. This option shows you all the files on your C drive in alphabetical order. This can show you any duplicate copies of programs and files that may exist in different directories. Lisa, open the View menu again and select the Dual File option. Sometimes you want Dual File List so you can copy from one place to another and see the source and destination on the same screen. Let's see how this works. From the top window, select the Drive A icon. Now our top window shows our disk in Drive A, and the bottom shows our hard disk for Drive C. Lisa, make sure the DOS directory is highlighted in the bottom tree area. Then select about 5 files from the Files area, making sure to include the chkdsk file. Select the first file by clicking on it, then hold the Shift key and click on the last. We could go to the File menu and choose Copy, but I'd like to show you an easier way to do this. Press and hold down your left mouse button anywhere in the selected files. While holding the mouse button, press and hold down your Control key. Now move your mouse pointer out of the Files area toward the top tree area where the A drive is still displayed. Notice the pointer changes to an icon representing files. Put the icon on top of the A and release both the Control key and mouse button. A dialog box opens asking if we are sure we want to copy these files. Answer yes, and our selected files will copy to our disk in Drive A.
What's this, Professor? It's asking if I want to replace my check disk file.
Remember I said earlier that no two files can have the same file name. Well, DOS sees there is already a file with that name and wants to know if you want to overwrite it or keep the original. Since they are both the same file, say yes. And there are all the files now copied to our disk in Drive A. Sometimes you'll want to move files from one place to another. For instance, to move old files from a crowded directory to a floppy disk to make more room on your hard drive. This Move option is in the Files menu, but the shell offers an even easier way. Lisa, select a few files in the Files area for our disk in Drive A. Click and hold your left mouse button down. This time, without the Control key, move the mouse pointer on the A in the tree area and drop the files there simply by releasing the mouse button. A dialog box appears asking if you are sure you want to move these files. We definitely don't need to do this since this would just move them back to where we got them from, so answer no. Viewers, there are a number of ways of doing things in the DOS shell. If you are not comfortable with using the mouse and keyboard yet, you may want to stop the tape at this time and practice the various ways of moving and selecting items. You needn't worry about doing anything wrong while exploring the menu bar and its dialog boxes. As long as you click the Cancel button or press Escape, nothing will happen and you can continue looking around. If you have any questions about any section of the DOS shell, opening the Help menu can help you find answers to your questions. Now let's look at the disk copy command.